Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense Show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I am making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and leave a comment. Last but not least, if you want to support the show, if you want to support SHR Media, if you want to support our boys in blue, go to Reaver.one/shop. That is REAVER.ONE/SHOP. Shirts galore to choose from. Second Amendment, pro police, Reaver of Common Sense t-shirts, SHR Media t-shirts, and a bunch of comedy t-shirts. Just us being smartasses, which, no, that never happens. No. Nobody here at SHR Media is ever a smartass. Let's start off with a quick little clip this morning.
This is Dave Milner, host of The Unpleasant Blind Guy. You're listening to conservative media done right on the SHR Media Network at shrmedia.com.
All right, so we have Newt Gingrich talking race relationships are worse after black president and a black attorney general. Monday on MSNBC's Morning Joe, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, oh my God, I can't speak this morning. Woohoo! Yay for stuttering me. Discussed the state of race relationship in the United States in the wake of a spree of racially inspired violence, including shootings in Dallas and Baton Rouge, resulting in deaths of 8 police officers. Newt argued much of the racial division is linked to President Barack Obama because of the commander-in-chief's attack on police. At the risk of once again being divisive, I think as long as we have Barack Obama doing what he did over the past few years, you had 7.5 years of a black president, 7.5 years of a black attorney general. Gallup reports today race relationships today than any time in the last 17 years. Why? Because how often has he hit the police? He hit the police in Cambridge, and he was wrong. He hit the police in Ferguson. He was wrong. He hit the police in Florida. He was wrong. And at what point does the president have obligations to say, there are 2 parts to this. One, we've got to understand the experience of being a black in America. And places like Chicago, where 3,200 people have been killed in the Obama presidency. We better have a strategy that works. We don't. He attacks the police. How about 97% of the blacks are killed by fellow blacks? Let that sink in. But when we bring it up, we are immediately lambasted. You're racist for saying that. No. We're the ones that actually give a shit and care. We're actually the ones that are trying to come up with solutions and just not pointing fingers. We're not pushing these false narratives. Oh, they're killing us on the streets, left, right, and center. The police are. They're hunting us down. No, they're not. If they wanted you dead, they just wouldn't show up. Harsh to say that, but they just wouldn't show up and let the blacks kill the blacks. That crime rate is already up. They're the ones that are standing in the way of that number going even higher. So if the police wanted them dead, they just would never show up. I know that's what some of these Black Lives Matter members want. They want to do away with police. We'll police ourselves. That will be so corrupted so quickly that'll make your head spin. It's drives me up a wall. They keep saying they want to have conversations about stuff, but then we never talk about anything. Nobody wants to talk about the real subjects. They want to talk about these made-up distractions. They want to talk gun control. As guns have become rather more available and the gun control laws have weakened, gun ownership has gone up. Gun violence has gone down drastically. Record low of gun violence. But no, the president doesn't talk about that. He pushes this narrative that we're the most violent nation in the world, which we are not. Unless you cherry pick, then you can get us the most violent nation in the world. But also, if I cherry pick, I can make us the most safest country in the world. You also got to understand, underneath 7 years of Obama, the mass shootings that we've had underneath him alone, and I'm not trying to blame anything, just go with me, to 1 year in France, which guns are banned, they've had more mass shootings than we have. Let that sink in. We've had more terrorist attacks on our soil. But they keep pushing those false narratives. They don't want to talk about the violence that's going on in Chicago. I do not remember. Yes, I'm white, I know. But they say I'm not supposed to talk about it. Well, if I can't talk about the race issue because I've never been black, I don't know what it's like to be black. It's not a bad idea, Jenna. If I can't talk about the black issue, then how can you talk about the white issue? You've never been white. You don't know what white privilege is because it's a far. The only one I've seen that has white privilege is Hillary Clinton. And she showed that when she did not get indicted. There's no white privilege for every single white person out here. I'm getting sick of that one. So you can't talk about that because you've never been white. So you don't know what it's like. And then if I turn around and say, well, I'm tired of it because I get blamed for everything. Everybody's misfortunes I get blamed for. Because I'm a white male. So it's all my fault. Grow up, take responsibility for yourself and your own actions. Will we ever do away with racism 100%? No. It'll never happen. You'll always have some dumbass that wants to hate somebody because of the color of his skin. And that goes all around. Racism is just not limited to white people. And that, I love that. No, blacks can't be racist. Yeah, they can. This next one, if you're listening to me and you're at work or you got kids around, I can't guarantee that I'm not going to yell at this next segment, or I'm not going to slip up and cuss, because it had me fuming last night, and it still has me hopping mad. Chris Matthew, who is, for those that don't know, host on MSNBC. And he's covering the Republican National Convention. And Pat Smith was there last night. She was talking, and her son died in Benghazi. Her son was Sean Smith. I'm not going to deny I heard her speech, and it brought tears to my eyes. To see that woman's pain hurt me. And to go on last night and see that Chris Matthews had this disgusting lowlife piss ant of comments. He attacked Pat Smith and said, I don't care what that woman up there, the mother, has felt. Her emotions are her own, but for the country and choosing a leader, it's wrong to have someone up there and tell a lie about Hillary Clinton. This gross accusation that somehow Hillary Clinton had anything to do with the death of Chris Stevens, the ambassador. She had nothing to do with it, even if all the arguments about the PR afterwards are true. Worst case scenario, she didn't give a straight story afterwards. And he goes on more to attack Pat Smith. You know, I'm getting sick and tired, whether it's Fox, MSNBC, or CNN, covering for these goddamn politicians when they fuck up. Hillary Clinton and Obama refused to send backup. That has been established. No backup was sent. They gave excuse after excuse after excuse, and no president before them, no administration before this crap of an excuse of an administration has ever not sent in reinforcements. And that is the idea. Our consulates have been attacked before. We have lost people before. It's the fact that we left them to die. That Hillary Clinton, who wants to be president, couldn't handle one embassy. How is she going to handle a country? Chris Matthews, you are a scumbag piece of shit that doesn't deserve oxygen. You are a lowlife piece of shit. Here, you guys listen to it and tell me what you think.
Political parties.
Let's bring Chris Matthews into this conversation from Cleveland. Chris, what's your reaction to what we've just seen?
Well, I have to say I'm overwhelmed because I thought that Marcus Luttrell's remarks were fabulous, and it's from a real warrior. I saw the movie. It's an amazing story about a guy who survived and at one point really was generous to saving the lives of some people potentially on the other side, and it ended up causing the danger he faced. And, of course, Bob Dole, he was shot and really maimed for life, if you really understand his injuries, trying to save the life of someone else on the battlefield in Monte Cassino. I mean, these are true, wonderful stories. And then to pile onto that, this gross accusation that somehow Hillary Clinton had anything to do with the death of Chris Stevens, Ambassador. She had nothing to do with it. Even if all the arguments about the PR afterwards, as Gene pointed out, are true. Worst case scenario, she didn't give a straight story afterwards. That had nothing to do with the death of great ambassador over there. I don't understand why the Republicans would choose to put this on primetime television when they have such wonderful stories of American heroism to speak to the American people. I think it was wrong. I don't care what that woman up there, the mother, has felt. Her emotions are her own. But for the country and choosing a leader, it's wrong to have someone come up there and tell a lie about Hillary Clinton. It's not true. It's logically not true. It's manifestly not true. She had anything to do in that case, even if all the arguments about what she said afterwards or Susan Rice said afterwards on Meet the Press are true. And anybody who thinks about it for a second knows it's not true. And I think it's wrong that they ruined their evening with this.
It's an interesting decision on the part of the Republican Party to go there with this first night, making it so.
I wouldn't spit on Chris Matthews if he was set on fire. That man is disgusting. This has everything to do with Hillary. Every decision she has made has to deal with the election. Her failures to send in support has to deal with her ability to lead this country. That mother and how she feels is every bit to do with Hillary Clinton and her running for president. If a scumbag like Chris Matthews wants to lower himself to try to cover up a heinous act and a failure that is Hillary Clinton, well, I'm just going to leave it there because if I say any more, I could get myself in trouble. That man should be ashamed of himself for attacking that great woman who lost her son because of Hillary's failures. Because Hillary failed to send in support. And as Secretary of State, that's part of her job. She refused to send in security. They knew this was coming, but yet they did nothing. And MSNBC should be ashamed of themselves. They've hit some lows before, but this is the low I'm speechless at how disgusted I am with a man that would attack that woman. She has a right to speak up. She was lied to by our government. And if you listen to this speech, she calls the State Department to get information. She's told that she is not immediate family. The mother is not immediate family. And you have scumbags like Chris Matthews covering it up, attacking that woman. I'm going to take an early break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN, Red Nation Rising, Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes. Oops. Hang on. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We are always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverbcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch the broadcast, go to Reaver.1. Click on the live stream. If you like the live stream, don't forget to subscribe and keep up to date. If you want to support the show, support SHR Media, or if you want to show that you are backing the police, we have a thin blue line flag for sale. Well, t-shirt for sale. Hey, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I suck as a salesman. I'm not good at it. Listen, go to Reaver.1/shop. That's REAVER.ONE/SHOP. Go there, check out all the items we have for sale. Check out the t-shirts. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Starting price is like $14.99 for most of the t-shirts. When you get to the double XL and larger, it goes up to $16.99. We even have a couple sales going on. And if you just subscribe, you get it, I think it's 15%. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 15% off. Total discount for your total order. Oh my God, I'm having brain farts. I got stuff going off all around me. I'm waiting for someone to call in, but they also just went live. I think she's outside trying to find. Let's listen in. She's outside. All right. But yeah, she's supposed to be calling in. We're just waiting for her. And like I said, I'm sorry I went and took a break there, but it boils my blood when a lowlife, to cover up another lowlife, would attack a woman like Pat. She is not doing it for political points. She's doing it because she was lied to her face over the casket of her dead son by Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton failed to do her job. She couldn't handle a simple task as sending in. And it wasn't like she had to figure it out. All the backup was spinning up. They were ready to go. They were in their helicopters and their planes ready to go. And all she had to say is, missions a go. And they would have flown in there with the cavalry, rescued them, got them the hell out of there. And we could have dealt with the politics afterwards. But no. They played games. They sat on their hands. And Hillary Clinton went to sleep. She sent an email immediately to her daughter saying it was a terrorist attack. Wow. The nation was told it was a video. People died because of her failure to act, so her story is relevant. And Chris Matthews is attacking her to try to discredit her because this hurts Hillary. Shows that she is not fit to lead this nation. My temper is up so bad right now. It's not funny. Gavin Newsom blames the NRA for the Baton Rouge police shooting. California Lieutenant Idiot Governor Gavin Newsom responded Sunday to the shooting deaths of 3 Baton Rouge police officers by blaming the firearms industry, its spokesman at the National Rifle Association, and their paid subsidiaries. This is how low that the left is going to push their anti-American agendas. They can't rule us as long as we're armed, so every time something pops up, they're going to attack the NRA. The NRA is the number one agency out there protecting our Second Amendment rights. So if they can get rid of the NRA, they can start winning battles and disarming Americans so that the Democrats can become dictators. They do not want to have a democracy or a republic. They want to rule us. And to the point that anybody that's a Democrat should be in jail. You are not for America. You are not for the freedoms. You're not for the Constitution. You tried trampling on the Constitution all the time. And I'm sick of these Democrats and them with the lies. I know politicians lie, but they've gone to a whole new level. Whole new level. NRA had nothing to do with this. The shooter was not an NRA member. In fact, none of these shootings have any connection. They have connections to the Democrat Party, but not to the NRA. According to NBC 10, Newsom began his statement by admitting all the facts were not known yet. Yet he said there is one conclusion we must leap. Enough is enough, he continued. An armed society is a dangerous society. Well, the stats kind of show differently, you dumbass. You half-witted nerf herder. And you talk about the NRA is a profit-driven business. Well, business isn't doing good because gun violence has gone down, you idiot. Your liberals are the ones that are pushing to attack police. You're protecting the terrorists that attacked the nightclub that you bring up. Your movie theater that you talk about, your schools. Yeah. They're all in gun-free zones that you put up. Your gun-free zones are the ones that are killing people. This ideology, and then I'll hear the parroting for a while now. Polly want a cracker. NRA is profiting on death. Yeah, I guess they're going broke, you dumbass. Gun violence at its all-time low. Stats are not proving and backing up your statements. In fact, they are in the direct opposite of what you're saying. But this is California. I don't expect anything other than stupidity coming out of there. Sorry, sackheads, but... Tougher regulations in firearms and ammunition in fear of political retribution from these defendants of death. Well, you already have enough laws on the book, you half-ass dumbass. You can't enforce the ones we have. Criminals are not going to abide by them. You're disarming, law-abiding. That's it. And if you're too stupid to see it, maybe you shouldn't be a lieutenant governor. Because you are not upholding your oath of office, which is upholding the Constitution. You are pissing all over the Constitution. I keep hearing that Congress need to act immediately. Hello, Cal. But they never say what laws they really want to do. We want sensible gun control. No. You never say what you want. You want to ban guns, and that's what you keep bringing up. And don't say, well, I'm tired of hearing that want to ban guns. We don't want to get rid of guns, but we want to ban guns. We want just like Australia has gun ban. We want just like Britain has gun bans. But we don't want to ban guns. These people should be going to Leavenworth for crimes against America. Hillary, this idiot, Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom for California. Your state admits it makes laws that are in direct conflict with the Constitution, and you Democrats do not care that you do that. I'd like to know what is in the water, California, that you keep voting these idiots into office. But the Louisiana and broken-hearted East Baton Rouge sheriff sees things completely different. He believes the issue is about hearts, not guns. And during a recent press conference, with God's help, we will get through this. To me, this is not so much about gun control as it is about what's in man's hearts. And until we come together as a nation, as a people, to heal as people, if we don't do that and this madness continues, we will surely perish as a people. This is about self-control, not gun control. Because we've seen it. Whether it's terrorism or just some jackass, you had someone with an axe that went on a little crime spree in Germany. Well, the weapon is a moot discussion. It's the motives. The fact that we keep covering up this extreme Muslim attacks. It's the fact that we have a hate group like Black Lives Matter promoting attacks on police officers is what's going on. Not the guns. Not the object. You had in New York a couple years ago where a person went after an officer with a hatchet. Man has been killing people for thousands of years. Man's been killing man for thousands of years. Thousands of years before gunpowder. 1,000 years before guns. So, I don't agree with your assessment. The facts don't agree with your assessment. But I am tired of these Democrats and their anti-American agendas. This administration has continued to lie to us. Continued. Now we're finding out that there's other secret deals within the Iran deal. And it's a secret document that lifts the restrictions after 11 years. This is why we do not allow our government to do secret deals, especially this administration. They've done it several times. We need to have secrecy on this deal, but you must pass it, and then we'll tell you what's in it. We had it with the net neutrality. For some reason, they couldn't tell us what was in the bill, and it should have been shot down right there. But Democrats, being Democrats, just blindly passed it. We had it with Obamacare. What was Nancy Pelosi? If you want to know what's in it, you gotta pass it. And now we have an Iran deal that we didn't know what was in it, but we agreed to it, which was stupid, moronic, asinine. But the key restrictions on Iran's nuclear program imposed under an international negotiated deal will ease in slightly more than a decade, cutting the time Tehran would need to build a bomb to 6 months from present estimates of a year, according to a document obtained Monday by the Associated Press. The document is the only part linked to last year's deal between Iran and 6 foreign powers that has been made public. It was given to the AP by a diplomat whose work has focused on Iran's nuclear program for more than a decade. And its authenticity was confirmed by another diplomat who poses the same documents. The diplomats shared the documents with the AP, described it as an add-on agreement to the nuclear deal. But while formal, separate from that accord, he said that it was, in effect, an integral part of the deal and had been approved both by Iran and the U.S., Russia, China, Britain, France, and Germany, the 6 powers that negotiated the deal with Tehran. Details published earlier outlined most restrictions on Iran's nuclear program meant to reduce the threat. In other words, the people got screwed over again by this administration with secret deals. Doesn't surprise me. The document obtained by the AP fills in the gap. It says that as of January 2027, 11 years after the deal is implemented, Iran could start replacing its mainstay centrifuge with thousands of advanced machines. Centrifuges churn out uranium to levels that can range from use as a reactor fuel and for medical and research purpose to much higher levels for the core of a nuclear warhead. From year 11 to 13, says the document, Iran can install centrifuge up to 5 times as efficient as the 5,060 machines it is now restricted to using. The new models will number less than those being used now, ranging between 2,500 and 3,500, depending on their efficiency, according to the document. But because they are more efficient, they will allow Iran to enrich at more than twice the rate it is doing now. Hold on one second. I think we're going to have a call in a second. I have a friend that is at the RNC convention. She was there all day yesterday. She's there today. She's been following the news, and she was following MSNBC, and she had some a nice insight into what was going on, especially with Kendra, one of the women that was leading up the Never Trump movement. The Free Delegate. It has so many different names. They changed the names over time just to... Oh, hold on. All right, and from the RNC, we have a good friend. Why don't you say hello? Oh, wrong button. There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you great now.
Okay. Well, introduce yourself and tell me where you're at.
Well, hi. So I'm Carrie Donovan, and I'm at the Cleveland Football Center where they had opened up all the concession stands. They got food. They got I walked up and they said, "Hey, here's a free beer." So this is awesome. It's the Southern State tailgate party. There's some sort of event here. I'm not really quite sure because it's my first convention, but I'm in Cleveland. I'm at the Republican convention. I'm being recorded by my friend Roger for Facebook, and I'm chatting with you.
Now, we had talked last night, and one of the things we had talked about, and I saw on the news today, they're really pushing it, about all these protests that broke out outside. Now,
about what? I'm sorry.
About the protest. They're saying there's all these protests outside.
Right, yeah.
You were out there for a while, and I remember you said you really didn't see anything that was going on.
No, I saw one protester. He had a megaphone, and he was basically talking about George Bush. And it was very confusing to me. I asked a number of police officers, "Hey, where are the protests?" They said it's very quiet. In total, I've probably seen, including today, I've seen 15 different protesters, 3 different groups. One was the guy with the bullhorn, who was right outside the perimeter area. One was a group of Pink. I saw Medina Benjamin and maybe 3 or 4 college girls dressed up as Pink Statue of Liberty. They were at a downtown Cleveland the day before yesterday talking to us while we were standing in line to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Then I saw today, as I drove by the Cleveland Brown area here, there were some people dressed in purple. I don't know what they were protesting or what they were doing, but that's it.
Oh, they were saying on Fox this morning, right before I went on air, that there was a big clash between anti-Muslim bikers and Black Lives Matter yesterday. There was a big clash outside. But there's other people that are at the convention also said that they didn't see anything. And
no.
I think some news agencies are trying to blow things out of proportion.
They could be blowing it out of proportion. I was talking to a number of people from the media, Chinese media, I think Philippine media, somebody else, I can't remember right now. They had people outside looking for protests. And I said, did they find any? We're not sure yet, they said. So if these things are going on, they have done an excellent job of keeping them away from the convention center. We're driving, my hotel is outside of the perimeter area, about half an hour. I've seen no traffic. I've seen no protests anywhere. If it's happening, it's going on far away from us, and none of us are aware of any of it. We're having a great time. Lots of good stuff going on here. We're not affected by it, so if it's going on, but I haven't seen it.
You were telling me also you were following MSNBC around in Kendra, was it?
I think it's Kendall.
Kendall,
and,
yeah.
Her name is Kendall, and I don't know what her last name is. I can get it for you, though, but she's one of the delegates from UH or something like that. She's all over, though. You can Google her. She's from Colorado. She's been very vocal, very active. I don't know if they nominated her as the spokeswoman for their movement, but yes, I saw her yesterday.
You got to get that video up, too, because where you asked her that one question, it's hilarious because I think that's all she's doing this for was publicity, and it's Kendall Unruh, UNRUH, something like that.
Yeah, I can get you the information. I actually downloaded her email address. Somebody had posted all of the email addresses of all the different delegates, so all of the information's out there.
Yeah. Other than that, how is the convention?
Oh, it's awesome. You know what? I'm having a great time, but I also am learning a lot about my particular agenda, and which is, free enterprise, unity in the party. I like to work with a lot of different minority groups, and I have seen so many people fired up about unity. And so, of course, the media is not covering any of that either. But the diversity in the party is growing, and it's very positive. And the foreign media has noticed it, and they are very excited about it. And also, one of the reasons why I support Trump, he's not perfect, but I support him because he spent a lot of resources in reaching out to different groups. So I met the directors of Trump minority groups. He has numerous of them. He met with the Chinese Republicans, and they were very excited about that. And what he's talking about to them is, issues of free enterprise and work. And so this morning, Paul Ryan was at our breakfast, and he even starts talking about work, free enterprise. These are issues that are really important to me. So I'm fired up. I'm excited. But I'm also having fun, and they're giving me free beer. So, I mean, what can go wrong with that?
Free beer, there's nothing wrong with that.
Great. I mean, I've never walked into a stadium and they say, "Hi, come on up. What would you like? It's all free." I mean, I said, "You could open my can for me. I said, "You're treating me like a princess." What?
Yeah, it seems like the convention, after that little dust up, everything's calming down. The other big thing they're talking about, they're trying to say Melania Trump plagiarized Michelle Obama's, which I read a nice piece where every single, pretty much, first lady going back, I think it was to Nancy Reagan, and they all say similar things in their speeches. It's not plagiarism.
Right. Well, you know what I was really surprised at? So I actually left the convention center last night. I was so super tired, and I wanted to get my photos up online. So I left before she spoke, and I was back home in my hotel room just about the time that she was ending, and I had the television on MSNBC, which I watch, but I'm very interested in what they're doing. Anyway, they were already covering. It's almost as if they knew to look for it. They were already covering it. Chris Matthews was already, screaming and yelling and calling her name and being nasty. I mean, minutes after she finished. So it seems to me as if, I don't know if they're making too much out of it, if it's something normally that happens, or if it was a plan all along to try to humiliate her. And I just think, I hope that turns around on them. I hope that they are somehow, people will realize this is not an appropriate way to treat anyone who's speaking.
Oh, they also, Chris Matthews, I talked about it earlier. Chris Matthews went after Pat Smith, and what she had to say, he attacked her, and he was nasty about it, telling that she doesn't her feelings don't matter and all that, and she basically needs to shut up. And it's got me fired up. Chris Matthews is just a piece of shit that can.
Well, yeah, he really is. And, I heard another woman speak yesterday. There were a number of women who spoke who are mothers of men who have died for our country. They're very patriotic women. They love their country. They love freedom. And I am highly offended that he would be acting that way toward a woman who gets out there to speak about the death of her son. And where are the feminists? Where are the feminists?
Oh, no, that's only to go after Republicans. They never, how about, I've seen it on Twitter, they're back to attacking Melania Trump also on some of her, when she was a model, the pictures, they're attacking her. This is Democrats who say that, that women have the freedom to do whatever they want, but now they want to attack a woman for being a model. And it's...
Right. So, for Chris, one of the major things that's going on here that I've seen is that women are highly respected in the Republican Party. Many women, intelligent women, bringing a lot of values, American values, to the table, and talking about how, freedom, equality for all people. It's the Democrats who prevent us from really having a platform. And, Chris Matthews, he just goes whichever way the wind blows. And apparently he's getting his bread buttered over there by the Democrats. But for him to completely disparage a woman who lost her son in the service of this country is the most pathetic, disgusting thing. It just goes to show that's those are their tactics.
Yeah, I got to take a quick station break, 15 seconds. I'll be right back in a second. Okay.
Awesome.
This is Dave Milner, host of The Unpleasant Blind Guy. You're listening to conservative media done right on the SHR Media Network at shrmedia.com.
It seems that we lost Kara. I'll see if I can get her back. And Well, in that case, let me actually take my break. I was just trying to sneak in there for my editing purposes, but you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, YouTube, iTunes, and Spreaker. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We're always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense Show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeovers here, we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com, just click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, perfect, go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and leave a comment. If you want to support the show, support SHR Media, we got great t-shirts available. Go to Reaver.one/SHOP. Whoops. Well, Reaver.one/shop. Oh my God. I hate sales. But it's evil necessity. We got a lot of great shirts, and all the money goes right back into the show, better equipment, expanding to other markets. So go to Reaver.one/shop. After I totally screwed that all up. That's REAVER.one/SHOP. So the Republicans have adopted the most conservative platform in modern history. The delegates at the Republican National Convention officially adopted the platform recommended by the Platform Committee, called by one of the most conservative platforms in modern history. Republican delegates from across the nation are accepting the work of a 112-member Platform Committee, ratifying a platform that starkly contrasts with Hillary Clinton and the Democrat Party. Here are some of the highlights. Marriage. The American family is a foundation of civil societies, and cornerstone is marriage, the union of one man and one woman. We do not accept the Supreme Court's redefinition of marriage, and we urge its reversal, whether through judicial reconsideration or a constitutional amendment, returning control over marriage to the state. The Supreme Court and marriage. We condemn the Supreme Court ruling in United States versus Windsor, which wrongfully removed the ability of Congress to define marriage policy in federal law. We also condemn the Supreme Court's ruling, which, in the words of the late Justice Anthony Scalise, was a judicial posh full of silly whatever that reduces the discipline legal reasoning of John Marshall and Joseph Story to the mythical aphorisms of a fortune cookie. When it comes to the marriage issue, I don't care. I don't care. If two men love each other and they want to get married, I don't care. If two women want to get married, I don't care. I believe in the government doesn't have a right to step in with certain things like that. It's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And I know there's a lot of Republicans nowadays that feel the same way. But that doesn't mean that we should force businesses to do things that they don't want to do. Because I wouldn't want to force a business to do something because I wouldn't trust them after I forced them to do it. If to give the example of that cake maker, if he doesn't want to make the cake, don't make the damn cake. He's going to lose out on a lot of business, possibly. It's his right. And that person that wants a cake for the gay wedding, there's companies out there that are run by gays. They're more than willing to make it. There's straight people that are more than willing to make it. To force a company to make it is just... I don't want you to accept or I'm not forcing you to accept my lifestyle. Don't force me to accept yours. But they have the right. They have the right to get married. I don't care. They're not hurting anybody. I know I'll get lambasted for that opinion, but I really don't care. Hello. Oh, what is it? What? Southern Sense is here. Ooh, how you doing? Protecting human life. Ginger pride parades. No, we can't put up with the ginger pride parades. Nope. I'm joking, people. Protecting human life. The Constitution's guarantee that no one can be deprived of life, liberty, or property. Deliberately echoes the Declaration of Independence proclamation that all are endowed by their Creator and with inalienable rights to life. According, we assert the sanctity of human life and affirm that the unborn child has a fundamental right to life which cannot be infringed. We support a human life amendment to the Constitution and legislation to make it clear that the 14th Amendment protections apply to children before birth. We oppose the use of public funds to perform or promote abortions or to fund organizations like Planned Parenthood. And coming up in 2 hours, so that'll be 2 p.m., we have Southern Sense Show with Annie right here live on SHR Media. I always forget what shows we have coming up, and I'm a bad promoter, pundit. I never remember what shows are coming up, and I always forget to speak of what's, to give a little shout out for them, and I do apologize. I do. When it comes to protecting human life and abortion, I don't think we should be using it as a birth control. I don't think we should have to pay for everybody's mistakes. And it is about protection more than that child. It's about the harm that it can do to a woman. You get too many of them, it sterilizes the female. It damages the reproductive organs, whether it's back alley or by a regular doctor. It's one thing they don't talk about. You make one mistake, okay, I can understand that. But used as a birth control, which some of these women are doing, and that is unacceptable. That I will back up the conservatives on in the Republican Party. Title 9. We emphatically support the original, authentic meaning of Title 9 of the Education Amendment of 1972. It affirmed that no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participating in, be denied the benefit of, or be subject to discrimination under any education program or actively receiving federal financial assistance. That language opened up for girls and women in a world of opportunity that had often been denied to them. The same provision of law is now being used by bureaucrats and by current President of the United States to impose a social and cultural revolution upon the American people by wrongly redefining sex discrimination to include sexual orientation or other categories. The agenda has nothing to do with individual rights. It has to do with power. They are determined to reshape our school or our entire society to fit the mold of an ideology alien to American history or tradition. This etiquette to the states concerning restrooms, locker rooms, and other facilities is not once illegal, dangerous, and ignores privacy issues. We salute the several states that have filed suit against it. National defense. We believe that our nation is most secure when the president and the administration prioritize readiness, recruitment, and retention. Rather than using the military to advance a social and political agenda, military readiness must not be sacrificed on the altar of political correct social agendas, which this administration has done. I know this could be a little boring, but I do want to go through it. Safe neighborhoods. The next president must restore the public trust in law enforcement and civil order by first adhering to the rule of law himself. Additionally, the next president must cease the sowing the seeds of division and distrust between the police and the people they have sworn to serve and protect. The Republican Party, a party of law and order, must make clear in words and action that every human life matters. Economic growth. Republicans consider the establishment of a pro-growth tax code a moral imperative. We condemn attempts by active judges at any level of government to seize the power of the purse from the people's elected representation by ordering higher taxes. Republican budgets will prioritize thrift over oh my God, I'm getting tongue-tied. I hate when I get tongue-tied. And put taxpayers first. We support the following test. Is a particular expenditure within the constitutional scope of the federal government? Of not, stop it. Healthcare? Well, we all know what they want to do, and I agree with them. There's no reason why we should be forced to buy a product. And that's what they're forcing upon us. It has destroyed the insurance world. The costs have skyrocketed. They have not gone down. They've done the exact opposite of what was promised. It's more people are without insurance than there was before. Yes, those that didn't have it before now have it. We could have done so many different things that gave insurance to those that couldn't afford it before. We could have expanded the Medicaid slightly. We could have given different options. Instead of flipping the whole market upside down and destroying it, we could have fixed the few issues that were going on, but this administration wanted to destroy it. They don't want it to work now. They want it to be used so that they go to a single payer. They want it so broken that they have to go to single payer. Former Platform Committee Vice Chairman Ken Blackwell concurred, telling Breitbart News the media's crowning of the death of Ronald Reagan republicanism has proven premature. The Republican Party in 2016 has shown that it still holds to the timeless truth of constitutional fidelity that were the hallmark of Ronald Reagan, and that conservatives of all stripes should mobilize to defeat Hillary Clinton in November. Now, I know I was a little young when Ronald Reagan but I remember certain things about him. And I remember him being a little bit of a wild card. I remember him speaking his mind, saying what he thought. sort of like what Trump does. Now, I'm not saying they're the same person, but they're not altogether different. They go about things slightly different. Ronald Reagan was a little bit more proper in his etiquette when he spoke, where Trump says exactly what he's thinking. They both were told by the Republican Party that they were going to destroy the Republican Party. Look what Ronald Reagan ended up doing. It sickens me when I see supposed conservatives spewing liberal media myths, to put it nicely. I'm sick of this so-called conservatives trying to flip the Republican Party upside down just because they don't like the candidate and are willing to destroy the country and give it to Hillary. That's real conservative. They're willing to destroy the country because they're throwing a temper tantrum. And I don't care what you say you're doing. You are throwing a temper tantrum. You're acting like a 5-year-old child because you didn't get your way. And it's your right to act that way. But don't sit there and say you are a constitutional conservative and your morals will keep you from voting Trump. Because in the next goddamn tweets and Facebooks, I see you attacking, defacing, disgusting comments about Trump. But yet you're supposed to be on this higher moral ground when you're more disgusting and vile than a liberal. And that's why I wonder, a lot of these people aren't Republicans, they're not conservatives. They're part of that libertarian movement, and I think the libertarian movement, there's too many parts to it. And I've said it before, one of the negatives that I don't like about the Libertarian Party is that if you don't agree, you don't believe in the Constitution, and we're going to attack you. Well, that's why I'm not a libertarian. I do like a few of their things, but that direct attitude that their followers have, and I've said it, that's what has caused all these problems. And I was talking to someone at the convention yesterday, and that is what a lot of these people, never Trumpers, are talking about. They say this is revenge for Rand Paul and Ron Paul not be given a chance. That they're burning down the party because they're upset about Rand Paul not getting it and Ron Paul not getting it before. And the Libertarian Party needs to take control and stop because it's giving them a black eye. And I'm sorry, they talk about independence, but they're dependent on the Republican Party. Well, if you're so much better, stop and go off on your own. I'm just, you got these conservatives. I'm against abortion, and that's why I'm not backing Trump. So I'm becoming a libertarian who want no regulations on abortion. I'm against the goddamn smoking weed and drugs, and I want more regulations. So you go to the Libertarian Party that's against regulating any of the drugs. As they say, they're pro-choice about everything. So don't tell me how much better the Libertarian Party is, because they got their issues too. And those ones that went over there, some of them are already running back to the GOP. It just, I don't know. But this little group I think they may have hurt themselves more than they hurt the party, but they were willing to burn down the party, burn down this election and give it to Hillary just so that they could have some kind of moral victory. Yeah. We saw how good that went. We also had on Monday, yesterday, Barack Obama, after his speech on Sunday of the officers being ambushed in Baton Rouge, he spoke again. And, of course, he couldn't leave well enough alone. And we get out a new chapter to the annals of the divisive anti-cop rhetoric President Obama has embraced over the past 7.5 years. On Monday, just one day after 3 cops were killed by ambush in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the president suggested that if cops admit there's a problem, then they will be a lot safer. The remarks came during a press conference alongside the president of Spain. If police organizations and departments acknowledge that there's a problem and there's an issue, then that too is going to contribute to real solution. And as I said yesterday, that is what's going to ultimately help make the job of being a cop a lot safer. So he wants them to admit that they're racist, that the police force has been inherently racist over the years, and that's going to make it a lot safer. This man doesn't know when to keep his goddamn mouth shut. Yeah, I do have that, I think, for today or tomorrow. Cal just popped up where Debbie Wasserman-Schultz says Hillary Clinton is the most admirable and respected woman in the world. I guess I should have warned people before saying that, because I'm pretty sure there was a lot of laughing and a lot of choking on coffee at that point. But Obama's rhetoric has come on the heels of 8 cops that have been killed in anti-police attacks in the past 10 days alone, including 5 officers in Dallas, Texas. The president took the opportunity to praise Black Lives Matter hate group, the group cited by Dallas cop killer Johnson as part of his inspiration. In his statement, he comparing the group to abolitionists and advocates of women's suffrage. We did not have this big of a division, this many problems 8 years ago. We had some issues. We did not have what's going on. I have never seen a presidency with so many problems as this one. I'm dumbfounded. Absolutely speechless at how reckless our government has become. Again, I know there's been issues, but not like it is now. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, YouTube, Spreaker, and iTunes. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and 2 of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We're always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying confident, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense Show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like this live stream, do not forget to subscribe and keep up to date. If you want to support the show, support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one/shop. That is REAVER.ONE/SHOP. Pick yourself up a t-shirt or two. We got some great deals going on and a bunch of discounts. Well, we're on the last segment. No more breaks. I don't know. It seems we had lost Care. I know she's had some issue with signals and everything. I mean, you got how many people there and how much satellites and all that. So she probably lost signal and just is not able to call back. I'll get back a hold of her tonight and try to get her back for tomorrow. So a San Diego businessman launches a petition to repeal Gunmageddon. Get it? Gunmageddon. San Diego businessman has filed papers with the state attorney's general office to secure a referendum to repeal the six gun controls in Gunmageddon. The new gun controls, which include ammunition background checks, a statewide ban on high-capacity magazine, an expansion of anti-assault weapons laws, which were signed into law by Governor Jerry Brown on July 1st. According to the Los Angeles Times, the San Diego businessman Barry is the CEO of a commercial network service. In his correspondence with the Attorney General's office, he wrote, "Veto Gunmageddon," and on his Facebook page, he wrote, "Oh no, they passed a new gun control law. I need to go and turn in all my guns, said no criminal ever." The six specific laws being targeted for repeal are SB 880, which together bans the sale of semi-automatic guns with bullet buttons, allowing easy replacement of ammunition magazines. AB 1695, which makes it a crime to fail to report a gun lost or stolen. SB 1235 requires those buying ammunition to undergo a background check to make sure they are not a felon. SB 1446, which outlaws the possession of ammunition magazines that hold more than 10 bullets. That's going to stop mass shootings. Oh, yes. What a dumbass these people are. AB 1511, which prohibits short-term loans of firearms to people other than immediate family members. Barry now has 90 days to collect 365,000 signatures to bring a repeal of the laws to ballot. He plans to accomplish this by using gun stores around the state for signature collection. He said the only certainty is that it's an impossible challenge if we do not at least try. By my math, we can do it if we hustle. We have more than 2,000 gun stores in this state. We will be leveraging these gun stores and numerous volunteers from the community to get the petition signed. If he fails to qualify his repeal for the 2016 ballot, he may be able to do so by 2018. California is becoming a shit state. And at one point, I wanted to move there. I'm glad I didn't move there. California is everything that is against America. California is against everything that is our Constitution. And I don't know, and I said it before, and I'll keep saying it, what the hell are they putting in that water that these idiots, Nancy Pelosi keeps getting elected, Feinstein keeps getting elected, and the list goes on. Not because they're woman, a female. I don't care. I've had female chiefs before, and it never goddamn bothered me. It's the fact that they keep electing these idiots. Nothing changes. Things keep getting worse. You keep electing the same people. Detroit, Baltimore, Chicago. The cities are going to hell, and you've had Democrats running it, but they tell you the Republicans are the problem, and you buy it. When was the last time you had a Republican-controlled city in those areas? How do you keep buying the same bullshit and expecting different results? Electing the same people, and they keep blaming everybody else for their screw-ups, for their failures. Hell, in Detroit, they blame the Tea Party for their failures. Have you ever seen a Tea Party member elected in Detroit? Have you ever seen a Republican elected in Detroit? All these big cities are run by Democrats, and they're running it into the ground. But you want to blame the Republicans. One of the things that Kerr told me about the RNC convention, and that can't remember if she mentioned it when she was on air, is the minorities. There's so many of them. Such a diverse crowd is there. But the mainstream media doesn't show that. Fox doesn't even show it. They don't want to show, and the RNC doesn't brag about it. They just do what they do. And people with more than one brain cell can see that. They understand that the RNC is not this white person's club. The party that has the most minorities is actually the Republican Party. And I'm talking from candidates. Well, actually just candidates and, actually in office right now. They were the first to have minorities. But the Democrats keep lying to people and saying, oh, no, we did this. It's because of us. We push for women's lib. We push for women's rights. We push for black rights, Hispanic, gays. How's that working out for you? Nothing's changing. Nothing's getting done. They keep feeding you the same bullshit. They keep using you. As they pull in money from countries that hate gays. Despise women with power. And you keep supporting that. There's problems in the RNC. Oh, Lord, there is. They don't have to resort to lies and misdirections that the Democrats have done for decades. They got to try to take the responsibility of the civil rights movement. The Republicans were pushing it for 100 years. It was Republicans that overwhelmingly passed it. 80% to 60%. 80% of the Republicans voted for the civil rights after dealing with filibusters from the Democrats. 1958, 1960, 1964. Oh, the big change. Yeah, because there was a couple Democrats that thought, because one man spoke up against a federal law and said it should be the states that are requiring this, they thought, oh, here we go. Okay, we can go over to them. They're against the blacks. They weren't. There was no party switch. It's a myth that the Democrats tell to cover up their evil and heinous acts throughout history that they continue to do. They had a senator to 2010, Senator Byrd, that was a KKK high-ranking member and recruiter. But he apologized for his appalling and disgusting things he did in the 50s as a KKK member. I let that have been a Republican, and they would have been ran out of office. That man stayed until 2010 when he wanted to retire. And the Democrats backed him. The Democrats pushed Planned Parenthood, started by Margaret Sanger, who started Planned Parenthood to wipe the black population out because she was against the blacks. And you have Hillary saying she wishes she could be as great as Margaret Sanger. I can't understand how so many people are so gullible. You had LBJ famously saying if they can get the blacks, they could be winning elections for the rest of the time. They lied. They outright lied. But more and more minorities are waking up to the lies of the Democrat and finally realizing. But then you still have those groups that go out there because they're being paid to go out there and protest. They call Trump a racist because he wanted to build a wall. Mexico has a wall. A lot of countries have walls. The White House has walls. There's nothing wrong with securing our border. That's not being racist. Because he said a percentage of them coming across are criminals. They're all criminals. They're breaking U.S. law. They're breaking the law to get in the country. They are criminals by definition. I'm just dumbfounded by the blank following. This they don't question. They just follow what they're told. They don't question that D-Ray, leader of Black Lives Matter. How do you get that job in the school system? Getting paid $150,000 a year. Living in a house that's financed by George Soros. Yeah. They talk about Pat Smith and the emotion. Well, too many people are running on false lies that's got them emotional. And they're running with it. They're killing cops. They're destroying property. They're destroying this country. They're blindly following and not questioning anything. I know I'm rambling, but it's just... I don't know what the solution is. I don't know how to correct it, except keep talking about it and talking about it and talking about it, and hopefully get through. If I get through one person, if I wake up one person and make them just question the Democrats, their motives, their actions, then I'll have done something good. Democrat Party has been on the wrong side of the history for a long, long time now. GQ recently wrote an article how Obama will go down as the greatest president. He hasn't done shit except destroy this country. Carter didn't even do this much damage. And yes, now we're back to with Obama that words do matter. Words don't matter. Words do matter. He goes back and forth on it. When it hurts him and it hurts Hillary, yeah, they attack us. Oh, words don't matter, and it's no big deal when it comes to ISIS. Oh, it doesn't matter what we call them. Yes, it does, because they sit there and they cheer, ISIS does, going, look what we did to that country, that once great country. We made it so they're so fearful they can't even mention our name. And that gives them more victories. That gives them more power. That allows them to recruit when they go, look at that country. That's what we did to them. They're so afraid they can't say our name. That's why words matter. You yourself, Mr. Obama, said words matter. That's some of the greatest words that you heard ever came out of Martin Luther King, that words, every word matters. But when it's not suiting you now, oh, no, words do matter. Words do matter. You need to make up your mind because you contradict yourself all the time. And I, for one, that's why I do the show. I'm tired. And it doesn't mean I'm going to ease up when we get Trump elected. I'll be right on his ass, making sure he does what he has talked about. I am going to make sure that he holds up to his principles. I know he's not going to be able to get everything that he said. Presidents make these promises all the time during elections, and more than half of it they can't legally do. But as long as we have a president that's willing to stand up and fight for the people, I'm going to be happy. A president that is not going to take shit from Russia, that is going to stand up to ISIS, that's willing to fight back. We need a president that's willing to stand up and say enough's enough. We need a president that stands up for America, not for globalization. And that's what this administration's been doing. More worried about how can we push this globalization than defending ourselves. America comes first. If we need to change something and it's going to hurt another country's economics versus it's going to help ours, sorry. We're going to worry about our economics. We're going to make it. We need to make it so these companies want to do business in the United States. Why would they want to do it in the United States? Why? The taxes are absolutely ridiculous. Trying to make money in the United States is next to impossible. If you're a small business, you're even worse off. And this administration has done nothing to make things better. And now they're trying to, as I said earlier, they're trying to change everything that was said at that convention yesterday. Very powerful speeches were given. But they're going to try to make a big fuss over Mr. Trump's speech because both her and Michelle talked about values. They have the same values. Work hard, so forth and so on. Nancy Reagan said the same thing. Laura Bush, Hillary Clinton said the same thing. So I guess they're all plagiarizing. Nobody else can talk about working hard to get where you're at. But it's also funny, Barack Obama has been nailed for plagiarizing several times on his speeches. No one has a copyright on those specific words that were used. Talking about hard work and so forth is a common discussion. So it's a distraction the Democrats are using to go away from Marcus Luttrell, John Teagan, Mark Geist, Rudy Giuliani's, all those speeches were powerful. And I'll tell you this, I would rather have Melania Trump as the First Lady. She looks elegant. Looks like somebody women could look up to. She's successful in her own right. Compared to Bill Clinton being the First Lady. A womanizer, rapist, and a danger to women all around. So which one would you rather have as the First Lady? And yes, I know the Democrats are also attacking Melania Trump because she was a model. So much for the war on women being the Republicans, and I've said it time and time again, the war on women is fought by the Democrats. They're the ones that have the issue with the women. Because I always see comments being made, but it's ignored. It's ignored when a Democrat makes a negative comment towards a woman. I don't care that she was a model. And over there, some of what she did is normal in Europe. So much for being the party of tolerance, party of choice. Because that is the biggest farce that they've ever pushed. There is no choice, only their choices. There is no tolerance, only what they want you to think. And with that, it's that time of the show. Remember, I will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also have Southside Mutts tomorrow, 8 p.m. And coming up at 2, we have Southern Sense right here on SHR Media. Until tomorrow, have a great day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.